listen to ourselves a story. And afterwards, we will pull a gratitude card. And then we will pull like an inspirational, motivational, sort of affirmational quote card. So, dear allied and aligned ancestors who wish for my highest good and growth in this room, their spirits, entities, angels, energies, elements of this room who wish for my highest good and growth, to Mama God, Mother Earth, and the universe. We just ask that you help us find some cool cards in this deck and tell us a Negro story to jumpstart our minds, our creativity, our day, and to get whatever we get out of this. Thank you. And let's start with maybe just one. So the card we got is the 9 of Deck of Sticks. Interesting. I was counting the sticks on this card. See, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? But this says 9. And I'm wondering if the 9th stick is the shovel. So the story that this card tells me is like, these guys are looking into this fire and they're waiting for some kind of communication or sign. There are all these sticks behind them, but then also, I don't know if you can see this back here too, there are sticks in this door here, this sort of gate, and it almost feels like a dungeon or a jail cell, which might make you think like imprisoned or in a cage, you know, a limit to freedom. But I also get from this card is that they're protected. They're in a safe space. It's very like dark and damp in here. You know, like mushrooms could probably grow in here. So like life can happen here. Miracles can still happen here. But I also feel like because they're like in here waiting for a sign that this place is not only like protected because of all of the stone and the wood bars and things, but that like spiritually this place may be quite protected. And their expressions, they're looking a little perplexed, you know, they're kind of waiting, or maybe they're surprised that the fire is blue. They went to go start this fire and they were not expecting that. So this could also be a card, I feel like, of surprise, of learning to look at things with a different perspective, right? Just how like this can feel perhaps imprisoning. If you look at it with a different perspective, you're actually protected. Like it could be an underground bunker or something, you know, and these sticks are actually fuel for this fire for later perhaps, or they're a spiritual barrier. So on the other side of this, if you are on the outside of these sticks, you might not be able to see the blue fire or read the signs that are going to be in there or hear the communication that comes from it or whatever that is, you know. You have to be up close and personal. So that's what I get from this card. Let's pull another one. One more card, please. It's the 10 of Rupees. This feels like a very fun, joyous, celebratory card. It's abundant. Look at all the rupees, you know, and even if this is kind of like not literally floating in the sky above them, it's just kind of like a symbol or a sign that there's like a lot of abundance happening here. Look, there's freaking water here, a little rock formation that they can climb up to get to the top of these mountains, so they have ways to get to different areas as well. Look how lush and green this grass is, even though there's like looks like maybe a little bit of snow, or that could also just be water kind of overflowing from this waterfall, you know? I think it's snow melting. So it's like we're coming out of a colder season, and we still have this abundance from maybe even the previous harvest, that we were so well prepared that we're kind of, you know, overabundant, perhaps. There are stairs here, so it's like this feels like more opportunities. But then there's also this, to me, it feels like the doorway to like a home or a communal space in the back where you can still go to feel that stable support and everything, but it's like there's still growth happening and you still have the support there, right? And we have different generations of ages of people, you know. We have the young ones here, we have the elders here, probably middle age perhaps, and then get a closer look at this guy. These people may also be different ages of middle age, but there's just a lot of people in the back, right? So not only does this feel like naturally abundant and sort of the whole landscape, the naturescape, the water, the mountains, the grass, and the snow, you know, clearly the rupees, right? The clear sky, the great weather, but it feels abundant in people, right? In this support, like this community center, in love and family, and maybe even material goods, because I think the rupees are supposed to represent coins in this deck, and oftentimes the suit of coins, it represents the material, you know? And so, yeah, that's what we get from this card. Let's put these two together. And the story is, maybe, since this came out first, these people are like waiting for a sign of communication, maybe from these people. They know them, they're friends, they're, you know, they work together perhaps. They're waiting to see maybe how did they fare their winter now that they're coming out of winter, or looking for communication for trade purposes perhaps, you know. These guys are living in a more enclosed space, whereas these guys are kind of out in the open. They have enclosed spaces available to them, because see, this could be what's inside of that room, you know? And so it's like we're all working together. These are the guys doing this sort of spiritual medicinal work, waiting for the next sign from the divine on whatever they need to do. And these guys are outside getting everything ready for the spring season that's coming up, you know? But yeah, like I said, it could also be that they're waiting for communication, but also it's just the two differences in like perspective, right? Kind of going back to this card and how changing your perspective a little, and maybe the change of your perspective is what can help bring about this 10 of rupees, this abundance in materials and loved one and spiritual and the natural. So yeah, let's pull one more card. And one fell into our lap as we did that shuffle, so that's the card we'll take. We have the page of bottles. So this person totally chilling out in this big sort of waterfall pool. This person is like, maybe they came here to collect some of this water and take it back home. Like it's really fresh or medicinal or something. I would imagine medicinal if this person's sitting in it. I don't think you would drink this. I think you would take it home to mix in your own bath. But they're like really excited. It seems like, I don't know, this expression feels super excited about this bottle. They're like, I'm gonna bottle up some of this water and take it on my adventure, because it looks like they've got something on their back. This person looks like they might be an adventurer, and they're carrying some logs on their back, and they've got some of this water so that they can continue on their journeys, perhaps, because I feel like the page often is depicted as kind of like a message bearer. So maybe even maybe a message in a bottle. This card also feels, again, kind of abundant because of like all this overflowing of water. Maybe not so much in people. Maybe this is a space that you only journey to when you need to go there. We're not just like hanging out here. It's available to everyone, and it's a sacred space of healing, perhaps, kind of like that fairy spring in Neopets, right? If you remember playing Neopets as a kid, there was like a spring you could go to and ask the fairies to heal your pets, and this feels kind of like that, where you're not going there all the time, but you do go, and it's a nice place, and it's a healing space, and maybe even bringing messages of healing to other people, bringing that back, you know? And then again, we have clear skies up here. This is a watery card, so we've got the or the element of water, the element of earth, and Styx, which is fire. And so all together, this message, this kind of goes back to what I was saying about these guys. This is like they're waiting on the message, and I think now that we pulled this card, they're waiting on the message from the page, whatever the page is coming to bring in. But maybe to get to these guys, the page is going to have to travel through these lands. And maybe they know that in traveling and having to maybe stay in a new place, they're going to bring a gift, an offering, a message to these people to share with them, as well as to bring back to these guys. Or maybe even it's like, okay, they're concerned. We mentioned they were concerned earlier, right? And it's like, oh, this fire's not going out. And maybe this water is what's going to put that fire out after the page travels to get to them. So anyway, that was just a fun little storytelling, playing with the cards, whatever you got out of it. That's what you got. Obviously, this is just for entertainment purposes. This isn't meant to be like, oh, any advice or anything like that, right? This is just for fun. So let's put these cards away and get a gratitude card and a sort of affirmational card. Gratitude prompt that we can take with us to carry us through the rest of the week. The writing prompt for this gratitude is, what has heartbreak taught you? Like, I like these cards because, again, it's kind of about perspective, right? And it's like, yes, heartbreak can be sad, but heartbreak can lead to a necessary change, maybe. Or maybe it can lead to you setting firm and clear boundaries for yourself. It can lead maybe to you treating yourself better or something. So it's like, yeah, what has heartbreak taught you? What have you learned from heartbreak? And that's like a little writing prompt you can do in your journal tonight, or sometime throughout this week, or even if you don't want to write about it, just something that you can kind of think about, to ponder, like, what have you actually learned from not just heartbreak, but maybe even we'll say like, what has failure taught you? When things didn't turn out exactly how you wanted and that upset you, it broke your heart, it was like perceived as a failure, what can you then draw from that and learn from that? So that's that. Let's put this back and we'll pull from one more set. just a case for cards that I made. Like inspirational quotes from different people who I follow on social media, or books I read or things like that. I think most of them are right now from different social medias, but oh, there goes one. So this quote is from Jessamine Stanley. They do the Underbelly app. It is a yoga app, I believe. And yeah, so this quote from them is, once you find a rhythm in yourself, it's louder than the idea that you can't do it, showing you who you are, someone who survives. So yes, what has heartbreak taught you? And remember that you're a survivor. Maybe that's what heartbreak taught you, how to survive. You know, how to be somebody who survives, and not just someone who survives, but maybe even somebody who can thrive. Sometimes the heartbreak is what helps you grow, or it helps you transform into something new. So anyway, it's getting noisy out here this morning. They're starting to do their work, so I'm going to call it here. Thank you so much for hanging out. Remember to treat yourself like you are your garden, and water and nourish yourself in the ways that you need. And yeah, bye.